Having looked for sanctuary in nature all her life, Runahild at times found it hard to express herself and to connect with others. Her book and latest album of Darkness and Light tell the story of what led her to get diagnosed with autism. On today's episode of The Humming Mountain, Runahild shares how nature helped her recognize parts of herself, lessons of living off the land, and that the conversation about autism should not only focus on what a person lacks. I'm your host, Letizia, and welcome Runahild. Looking at the book, for example, but also your aesthetics on social media, it really shows that also music, but that nature is a big passion, a deep passion for you.
Yes.
And how did that come about?
It's always been, I come from a small village and I had my bedroom toward the woods. So I think like my mom keeps telling the story that I was like maybe 3 years old and I was already running toward the woods. So she had to keep an eye on me because it was always to the woods. Always going away, always wandering around, always going in nature. And it never left me. It's always been like this. I've always been there. I just simply always childhood, teenagerhood, adulthood. I've always gone to the wood, always. And it made my fantasy world and climbing into trees. And then it was about living off the land and being as much as possible self-sustainable. Yeah. So yeah, now I live off-grid and I have a little garden, organic garden, and I live on the property of an organic farm. So we produce a lot of our own food and yeah, yes.
So what does it mean for you to be in nature?
To be alive, I would probably be the simplest. I really need it. I've always been, I don't know, it's like there is this need sensory seeking, I would say. I don't know, it's like it doesn't matter the weather or I love to feel the changes in atmospheres. Like if it's a storm or if it's the way the light shines through leaves or the way the wind sound through I don't know, like the trees and the light, the atmosphere, the energy. And I feel like that's a need for me to be a part of the cycles and of the seasons. So like I'm always happy. Okay, you have all the time. Okay, now it's like this flower is gonna come up, and it's like it's always a joy of, oh, now it's this flower comes and it's these berries, and now it's this time. And if it's winter and it's dark and you enjoy the stillness in the snowy landscape, and you can just so it's not sure how to really explain more, but yeah.
So I guess that's that need you have of wanting to be in nature and wanting to be a part of it. That's also what led you to go live off grid.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a dream of mine. When I was 16, then it came really very clear. It was like, okay, this is the only way it makes sense to me. I'm gonna live off the land and have my own running water. And I had to, yeah. So, and I just went for it. It was like every decision, everything that I made was toward that goal. So, yeah.
But you haven't been living there that long, right? I don't remember exactly, but a few years?
In this off-grid place here, it's since 2018 exactly where I really moved in.
Okay.
And before that, I was living on the organic farm down 300 meters down from here.
Okay, so you have lived off-grid for a long time then.
But it was not off-grid. Like off-grid is up here, but on the farm it's on-grid. So yeah. Okay. So no, it's just since 2019.
Okay. And you were already describing, actually some scenes of the photos that you took. And in the book, that is, well, I guess along with the album, you can see those photos, but they have the texts, or they have several texts. How do they work together?
I mean, the pictures it's like a lot of pictures I've taken over the past 14 years. And then I don't, it kind of came by itself. I mean, like it's been just a lot of me trying to place things together and trying things over and over and over again. And no, I don't have an answer for this. I just think it just came by itself.
That's okay. I mean, it coming together by itself is also an answer, so.
I mean, some fits atmosphere-wise, but no, it's yeah, no, it definitely is weird inspiration process, I guess.
Both the album and the book, they describe sort of how you've been feeling during and before you got diagnosed for autism, right?
Yeah, it's my journey to of self-discovery. Like, yeah, it's kind of shed lights on, okay, actually it all made sense. If I look backward, it's like, well, it was obvious all along because of this and that. And I think it's a part of like why the way my brain is being autistic, this way of hyper focusing and this way of having very intense sensory experiences. So like it's a very great thing in nature. Like if I go in city or if I am into social environment, then I get overwhelmed. But in nature, it's the opposite. Like I can't take enough. I just take it all in.
Yeah.
And I think that's also, yeah, that's kind of like what also made me go to nature too, I guess, like the peace and the quiet and the fact that I wasn't necessarily socializing so much. I was never very interested into playing other game like other kids were doing. So for me, it was like I had much more fun into the woods and into this world. And I mean, I can't, separate the two. So I think that the way I work with music, the way I take pictures and all of this, it kind of relates. So I wanted to, to me, it's kind of, this is this is who I am. This is why I am the way I am.
Yeah, no, it's actually something I have noted down later, that I think the album is very powerful in the sense of saying like, this is who I am, and it's very beautiful in that sense too.
Thank you.
And I was listening, of course, and then at some point I was also reading in the book, and I found a mirror of the soul, and the story that you wrote down. It tells about a moment that you came upon a toad, and you kind of recognized it as a loner animal.
Yeah.
Can you tell a bit more, like what you recognized in him or her?
Yeah, it's a way you don't really see, you hardly see them. Usually you don't see them. So it was a very special moment when I came at home. It was right here inside, like it found a way through the roof. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And also it's the way it happened too, because like, I mean, so I lived together with my partner and he had somebody in the studio. So they were working together and I felt like, wow, it's like I had been working so much to be better at socializing and being more part of groups. But here I am, there are people here and I only want to be in my universe. And there's something so wrong with me. Why am I this way? And I was just so depressed and I opened the door, I came here and then we faced each other at that same moment. It was just, and that just took away all my dark thoughts. I mean, just simply, it all went away. And then it found its way out through the roof again. But there was this moment and I kind of thought, and it was just simply landing on me like, well, you're also a loner. I hardly ever see you, but here you just show me a little bit of your magic for a few seconds. Thank you for that. And then you go again and you're living your little hidden life. Like I do.
Yeah, but I think such encounters, I mean, they actually can mean something, and it did for you especially.
absolutely. Yeah, it was really, really powerful.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so cool. Have you had other such encounters where a part of nature helped you recognize something in yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, yeah, absolutely, like to kind of find a way to accept who I am too, but and also, yeah, to reflect a part of my journey. I guess I have a little story from this year. I'm going to try to, I hope it's going to be understood. I'm going to say it, but we have a cherry tree in the garden, a very young cherry tree, and it had this original small tree, and then there was an, but it hasn't been very well for many years. It has like had
Hmm.
spots on the leaves, and yeah, it didn't grow. It didn't seem to thrive. But then there was this new branch coming out from the side, and then this year we decided that we should take all the tree, cut all the tree, and just leave that one branch to give that little shot all the chance to grow and give all the energy, take all the energy for this one direction and not everything. And well, I kind of saw a reflection of my own life because I have struggled a bit or a lot with chronic pain and yeah, for many years, and I have like been spread into a lot of directions, like both working full time on the farm,
Hmm.
wanting to be just into music and creativity, and then there is a garden up here and this and that, and it's like so. And now this year, I kind of decided I have to stop working on the farm. I have to just let other people take over because my body can't work. And if I work on the farm, then it's going to take on the music because then I
Hmm.
can't, then I have to, then I'm too tired to work on music in the evening. So, and I'm kind of dedicating myself to music to a new, to something a bit. So I kind of saw the reflection of like, okay, I have to take this huge part of my life, which is the farm, which I've been working on since 2010. It's been my whole life, full-time
Yeah.
job, and then slowly part-time. But anyway, and like, okay, I have to let go of this whole part of my life so I can focus on this little of the little, not so little, but on this other sides of me and just give all the energy to only a specific direction and not all over the place. And anyway, and now it's like, and then it really did great for the tree because like now it comes new shots and it looks absolutely amazing and it's like no spots on the leaves. It looks very good. Like, so I'm really hopeful that it's gonna go well. And so yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of see, and I also feel better in my life because I actually let go of something I know I had to let go for a long time, and I get to be in my creative world. I get to really be as focused as I want on music, give it everything that I have, and to my little garden because I really love my garden here. It's like it's slow pace. It's just for it's not for production, it's just for ourselves. It's very and just really get to enjoy everything because yeah, I get to really, oh, here is a berry. I can actually just enjoy
Hmm.
and talk to my plants. I don't have this productivity. And now you have to work this and you have to weed here and you have to weed here. I mean, you get very don't have time to connect to the land in the same way as when you just have your little garden and just like you can land. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's one example. But
Yeah.
that's like all the time like this.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a good analogy, you know. It's focusing on something and then, cutting off something, but it still helps the
Yeah.
other part grow,
Yeah,
a
exactly.
branch or however you want to call it.
Yeah. Exactly.
You mentioned a garden already and a farm, living off grid, working on, well, both, and also reflecting on, like, for example, society, who in general, not everyone, of course, but in general is quite far from nature.
Yeah.
What lessons have you learned yourself, like living off the land?
Being in harmony with your own body, with your own cycles, slowing down. So I think, well, yeah, I think our society would really, really need to slow down because we are so stuck into a wheel of productivity where everything's about production and we've forgotten to rest and
Yeah.
to listen. And it's, yeah, I really think that we will need to, and we see it. I mean, there are so many people who get chronic illnesses and too much stress and all of this. And I mean, even running a farm is still a part of that, it's part of that issue somehow, because we are still stuck into, you have to be productive, and you have to do so and so and so much. You have to kind of earn money and so on. So you have to kind of, you have to earn money to be worth something. And that's kind of like, and I realized that, well, but it's incredible how programmed we are to think this way, that we have to be constantly productive to be worthy, to just be, So yeah, I think we need to, I think don't have to all live like I do, obviously, but I mean, like, to reconnect to a bit more natural rhythm, where period of rest and period of productivity, but we also really need the period of rest, of nurture, taking care, and yeah. I think that's what comes to me now.
Yeah. So what do you think can inspire people to reconnect or to slow down?
I wish they were given the opportunity, because I understand that it is not easy, because I mean, I think if you can just find, maybe, I mean, if you live in town, maybe you can have a few plants inside, or find a way to get sometimes out, if it's possible. But I understand it's very difficult when you have to sustain yourself. I mean, it's just the way the world is built right now is just not made for that. I think we have to find a way to do it. I don't really know how, but truly do. And I don't know how to slow down, a way to take time to just breathe and be into what we are doing, whatever it is we are doing, because it doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just like trying to be in the present moment, trying to be maybe creative. That's not about creating artwork on a cell or whatever, but just being into creativity, like using, I don't know, colors, trying to let go a little bit of the productivity idea that everything has to become something, and just, what do you enjoy? Maybe that. What do you enjoy doing? What makes you happy? And try to do more of that. Try to take a little space for that, maybe. And a way to reconnect, I don't know, try to reconnect with our cycles, instead of which again is I think we simply have to demand, I don't know, that the world just simply has to kind of, if you are enough, maybe, to demand the change. Maybe it's, I mean, I'm thinking for us, for women, for example, and our menstruation, and the fact that most women will need time off and down during our periods. But it's when we came into taking rights, and suddenly we have to be like men that are to be productive, and suddenly it's a weakness if but we can't have you being 5 days in a month. But I mean, it's our cycles. It's actually what's wrong with that? I think it's just like nature goes through winter, and there's a reason for all of this. It's just, I mean, well, you can find that it makes sense in the end, because then everything gets to rest. And I think we need this. I think we simply need to make space for this. Okay, I have my periods right now. I actually need to listen to my body. I should, and at least allow ourselves. Maybe you have to still work, but is there a way you can hold space for the cycles? If you need it, of course, we're all different. So I personally very much need it. So.
Yeah, I agree. But I also do think that it is improving in a sense. I think we're sort of in a time where people are more allowed to be, well, first of all, themselves, but I think it's also getting a little more common that, well, for example, maybe 20 years ago, it would have been unheard of a woman saying, like, I need 3 days off because of my menstruation. Right now, it's more likely that you will find understanding.
Oh yeah, that's actually good. It's going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Returning to the album, what led you to also getting diagnosed for autism?
I think the beginning was that I worked on healing myself and trying to for so many years. And I came to that point where at my core, I was still exactly the same person. So nothing really changed, because I first thought, okay, this is just social anxiety. So if I work hard enough on it, I can socialize like everybody else. Is just shyness. And then I come to a point, it's just, no, it's, it's not that. It's just I really just work differently. I mean, I can't. It doesn't matter how much it's not even anxiety at this point. It's just I'm just different. And I had this idea that I might be autistic for a really long time, but I kind of dismissed it because the research by it's only been better lately. But I mean, like there was always this misconception that if you're autistic, you lack empathy. That's a big one of them that stopped me, because like if I am something, or you are like you're not emotional, and if there's something I am is over emotional. So I need to. It's too much sometimes. But it's great. It's music, photography, but yeah. so, but then it's like then it has been more research, and also especially autism in women, because it was first research in men, which does show differently. And then realized that actually it's not true. It's like it very often might be the opposite, that it's like, but it's a way of showing empathy that might be different. Maybe we don't show it the way it's expected. Maybe, yeah, it's just a different communication style. So, but then I wanted to seek to get the diagnosis of like the real diagnosis, because I just would have otherwise struggled too much with the imposter syndrome. I mean, you live your whole life thinking this is you, something is wrong with, it cannot possibly be that I'm is it really, am I autistic enough? Or like, because I actually did go to school and I can sometimes do this and I can sometimes that, but of course you're learning coping mechanism, but it came at such a high cost. I mean, because you never really feel safe in yourself, because until you know who you are. I mean, and you feel it's always you something is wrong with. So I just and also I just can't. I mean, like I need to have a professional who simply say, okay, this is who you are. So that's if people come like, but you can't be like, but no, but I am. So I can't fight this. It's like I just know it. And then somebody professional can confirm it. Yeah, and I think I'm just don't trying to be somebody I'm not. I just can't do it anymore. I have to be allowed to be myself. I have to be allowed to have my space as who I am and be accepted. And I do my best to understand from my part, but I also need the understanding from the other part. So I'm not like thinking that I am over dramatizing. For example, if I say, well, right now I can't stress anymore because I'm overwhelmed, and it's nothing personal. It's just sound wise and everything. I just need this accommodation, or I need this, and I don't want to feel guilty about it.
Yeah.
But in any case, in any way, when I just said, I realized actually nobody should ever be made feel guilty if you need. It doesn't matter who you are or if you have needs, and it should just be respected regardless. So I just, yeah, I realized that, it's not just about that though. I mean, like, why do we feel we have to justify ourselves if we need to have earplugs in or noise cancelling headphones? I mean,
yeah,
we should just, but I just needed to have the confirmation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The album is called Of Darkness and Light, so is the book. How does the title fit to that story, to your whole story?
Having both the strengths and the needs, the challenges, and somehow it's a part of the same. It's a whole picture. It's about embracing the whole picture, and not just embracing what is your strengths or what is easy about you, but also what is harder, because in the end there will not be the good things if not there was the hard thing. Like, okay, like my challenges are overstimulation, or part of, I mean, a lot, but overstimulation and very, very sensitive to light, to sound, to energy, to everything. But that is also, if I didn't have this, then I wouldn't be making music the way I'm doing music, for example. So, and then I wouldn't have this off-grid cabin away from everywhere, because I would probably have thrived into a normal job, and and I would have a lot of friends, so I wouldn't need to it. Then I wouldn't have had the time, and I wouldn't have had the same need. And here it's like, okay, yeah, sure. I mean, I have this life, and I'm so happy for it. But it definitely is also because of a lot of loneliness and never fitting in anywhere, and always being rejected from every possible group, so at least younger off. Or even when I was accepted, I was not capable of. There was always something keeping me out, and that's a part that's very dark, because it's like I don't know if I'm ever going to accept this completely, because it's very difficult to feel that no matter how hard you try, you're always into your own world, and you have so much you want to share. But okay, and on the other hand, then I have this little cabin, the mountains, and I mean, like I couldn't wish it anyhow else. So that's so it's about embracing both. I gotta try to accept. Okay, yeah, the darkness is also very important. If it wasn't, it's where there is all potential for creating the ground, the roots, and then you can create based on what your roots are. That you can create your own tree. No.
Yeah, so they can't really exist without each other.
No, not in. I don't think so. I mean, at least it's not in my mind.
Well, what you're saying is there's also a part where people talking about either autism or other neurodiversity things, it's people often look at, what do you lack? But I think there's also a part of what you said. It strengthens something. You already described it a little bit, like music. You can focus very well on that. Like, what does it emphasize for you?
My attention to detail, a way I can see patterns and analyze them. So, I mean, I'm not a super anything like they make into TV series, absolutely not. But however, there
you never know. You never know.
Yeah. But on a more like modest level of being able to, I don't know, for example, in nature, recognition in nature, finding mushrooms, finding plants, recognizing plants, learning about it. It goes very fast. Like that's a really nice thing. I can walk and I'm very attentive to the whole environment. So if there is a mushroom here or something edible this or medicinal this, I'm very fast at spotting it, and then just generally reading patterns and or at least as long as I'm interested, definitely something with autism, you have to have a very strong interest to actually go for something. So you need the interest first. But anything that interests me, I can. I got interested in astrology, so I just the same. I kind of like started learning it and choose to on my own because, well, yeah, don't like to be into groups. So I just, but learning to. It's easy to make connection between things. It's like you have like this huge map in your head, and you can just very easily make. Again, not like the TV series. Superheroes. Modest, for sure. But yeah, partly that. Well, there's a lot more, but yeah, could take the whole day. No, yeah, I know.
Do you think the conversation needs to also shift more a little bit to the positive side instead of what it's lacking?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, it obviously is disability in that you will have your challenges and you will have your challenges. That's just what it is. But I mean, it has maybe too much been seen as something negative and lower or less. I think that's also the problem with like saying, okay, because in a high support need autistic individual, then they are not verbal either. They can't actually speak, right? And then I think that because of that, that's also a part of saying, oh, they don't have fantasy, they don't have imagination, they don't have empathy. It's just because it has not been understood. So it's been kind of like slightly like dehumanized. Like, why are you saying this? Because actually it's pretty much the opposite. It's like, it's because there is so much emotions, you don't know how to express them. And you instead are going to react with a meltdown or maybe crying or screaming, or just you have to stim repetitive behavior. And it has only been seen as like, oh, well, we don't understand the way they communicate or the way they work, so we are just. And I think it comes more and more the more we can help, especially those who are nonverbal, to actually express, thanks to technology and all of this, we can help them to express their inner world. And we realize more and more, like doctors say, well, there is nothing in your child's brain or imagination, and then suddenly you get help and you realize just how deep their thoughts are. And we need to be able to see that too. And I'm like, I mean, I think there is something good to, and if you could just go to simply what it is, kind of like, okay, so what is that is in communication? What is very different is the honesty and being straightforward, which, okay, when it is like not understood, can come off as rude. But on the other hand, I find that, yeah, but I mean, enough with the hypocrisy and the drama and playing games. Can't we just be a bit more straight? I mean, like, we can be diplomatic and nice and all this, but can't we be a bit more straightforward too? And I think there's a good side here, and there are a lot of good sides that sometimes the world could need also a bit more of that too. And I mean, like, that's just one example, but I think like just the fact that more clear communication is, I don't see why that should be a problem.
Or why that is bad. Yeah.
But yes, focus also on the strengths, absolutely.
Yeah. Music is for you also a way to show your inner world.
Yeah.
Has this whole journey in some way then impacted how this album sounds?
I think in some ways maybe, but I don't really. It's a good question. Interesting. That's. I guess in one way, okay, this album I kind of worked a bit more down tempo with. I mean, like, usually I'm working a bit faster tempo, and I guess somehow unconsciously or consciously, I don't really know, but no, I actually unconsciously would have been kind of the slowing down and going more into my actual maybe rhythm, or like allowing me to slow down. Maybe somehow this has impacted in this way. But to go more with more electronic sound and all of this was already a decision that I had made. That's been something I've been wanting for very many years. So somehow it just had to happen at some point.
Yeah.
So I think this was just a different flow going on, and just it crossed each other, I guess, somehow. Yeah.
Okay. By releasing music, you're basically showing your inner world in a way.
Yeah.
And with that, you're also, I guess, reaching a lot of people. And I'm saying it because I read in the book somewhere that you sometimes have trouble connecting, but then through this music you connect with a lot of people. So it's very almost contradictory. But how do you feel about that?
But that's I mean, like, you know, it's like I go from before I started making music, and I mean, like, I could be invited to a party, black metal party, right? But I mean, I could at a party, and I would just sit there the whole evening drinking beer, but I would not have a word. I would just not speak at all. I mean, there would be other times when I would talk, but I mean, I remember that specifically sometimes I could just be there, and I would have absolutely nothing to say. I just didn't know how to get what I have inside out. And I still struggle with it if I'm into a group or in conversation. I mean, like, it's, yeah. But from my main music, I finally found a way to get this out. It's like, finally, I can share what I have inside, my inner world, my vision, the way I see nature. I can finally share this. And I've been actually very aware of this lately because, like, okay, now it's summertime on the farm. So we have volunteers coming and helping. So it's very social time. And then I'm together with my partner who is on that side, very opposite of me, and is very talkative and very easy at connecting with everybody and sharing stories and storyteller. So,
Yeah.
so we have like this very opposite on that side. We are very opposite, and it's like, and that sometimes it reflects and kind of triggers me, like, oh, I wish I could also share all I have, because then nobody really know who I am. They don't see it because, of course, how would they? I don't say it. I don't share anything. But then I do it my own way with music, with sharing my on social medias or whatever I have, pictures and sharing with strangers. Okay, I mean, like, sometimes I know them, some I don't, but it's it's my way of doing it. And maybe I'm going to get better at communicating faster in groups eventually, or maybe it won't. Maybe it's just okay. I just need a very long time to, like, I mean, eventually I open up, but it takes so long before I feel comfortable and I've been reading the room and understand, okay, this is what it is. And it just simply takes longer because that's just what it is. It's just I take longer at connecting, but eventually I do. It's just, yeah. And usually in life, it just don't have, for me, there is no time for this. By the time I'm ready, everybody's gone, you know.
Party's over.
Yeah, that's just how it is. I mean, yeah. So music, photography, and internet, being able to talk to the outside world. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, that's very beautiful that music then, does that for you, or through you. I don't know.
Maybe both.
Yeah. What stage in your journey are you now at with having processed, I guess, all of this, or are you still processing, or?
Yeah, I think I'm still in. I thought, I mean, like, I'm very aware of this lately. So it's like, I mean, the first version was like this relief, like, but now it's all this self-acceptance. Oh, okay. So actually, I mean, like, there is just so much I really can do. There is just so much, and working with daring to accommodate myself, like daring to make the little things that make things easier for me, and without the fear of maybe judgment from others. Such, like, I don't, like, if I need to have noise cancelling headphones on or something, or self-acceptance it's actually not that easy. Because, like, you're going back into situation all your life through, like, and then you realize, oh, okay, that was it, and then you have to kind of keep going back through a lot of moments and try to kind of get back things that you've kind of let go of yourself, or maybe, and also allow myself to be, I guess, to be who I am, my weirdness, my way of being, saying, okay, actually, it's okay, it's fine, I can be this person, and it's allowed. And so learning to, I will, like, a lot of people will say, unmasking. So kind of let go of the mask, let go of what you put on for others to look normal, and allow a bit more of your authentic self out there. I guess it's a balance, because somehow we all have to adapt to each other. It's just what everybody does. So whether you are autistic or not, I mean, we all try to read situations and react based on that. But also allow myself, because I have had so much of this, it's me who's wrong and I have to change. And rewriting the script.
Yeah.
That's where I am. I'm rewriting the script. It takes a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, one step at a time. It's getting better.
You said you're gonna focus more on music now.
Yeah.
What's next in that area?
Well, now there is festivals, Midgardsblot and Forest Star, so that's where I focus. And then right now I'm taking up some of my old songs and giving them a whole new version with the electronic.
Okay.
Very blending of keeping the organic, so the lyres and all of this, but blending together with the electronic and giving them a new life. But that's just, yeah, I need to, like when I'm listening to my old songs and the way I was recording and the way when I was starting with a project, I did not have so much understanding of sound engineering or mixing or any of this, or recording, or I just was doing it. It was all bomb out there. And now I kind of, like, with many years, I'm realizing, oh yeah, but now I would like to have done that a bit differently. And I love the idea of the songs, but I want to give them a new version.
Yeah.
So yeah, and yeah, take time for this. Yeah, to really have everything dedicated to this. And now there is Midgardsblot coming, and we have the Blood ceremony where we drum for 2 hours. Yeah, okay, we have this opening ritual. For those who don't know, we have the opening ritual, and then we tend to drum 2 hours where people can come and make their own offerings and their own, or yeah, just have their moments. So now I'm just focusing a lot on this. So I practice I'm drumming every day, trying to build up to that. And I've never given myself time for doing any of this. Usually I just go to Midgardsblot and bam, we're going. We're doing it. I'm getting myself time to actually really build up for it, to really, like, make the space. And yeah. Some of the projects at the moment. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your story with me.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Thank you for asking.